Surprise, surprise, surprise. Oh yes. You know what? Let's just get started. Okay, sorry guys. I tell you, I didn't even have a chance to put up the promo slide. I didn't have a chance to let anybody know. Um, I talked to Uncle Charlie the other night and had it all set up, and then it's just been a crazy, crazy week. So anyway, let me bring in Uncle Charles. How are you, Uncle Charlie?
I'm doing fine. Good evening, Brother Mel. Good evening, everybody. And again, it's always a pleasure to be on air with you, brother.
I gotta apologize, man. Like I said, it's been a hectic week, and I had made the promo slide to post this morning, actually yesterday, and just life got in the way, man. Life got in the way, and I just forgot to hit send, and got home late tonight. Uncle Charlie texted me, "Hey, brother, is the same link to get on? Because it's telling me that the host is not there, and because I wasn't. Um, but I'm on now, and Uncle Charlie is on now, and yeah, we're gonna have some fun tonight. I think.
Aloha Friday, everybody. Today is a beautiful day in Hawaii, and what I'm really glad about, Brother Mel, is that I finally I am finally seeing people being a little more patient. The post COVID caused a lot of hustle and bustle, right? And there were a lot of the travelers that I deal with on a day-to-day basis. I would like to say that there's good in everybody, but boy, we're sure getting some irritable individuals with no patience. But now it's finally to come around and say, you know, having that feel that you can only go so fast. Boarding the plane, doing everything under the sun, you can only move so fast. There's Godzilla is not chasing you out of that airport. So just take your time. You'll get your place on that plane. Because if not, guess who they gotta meet up with? Uncle Charlie,
Yeah, Uncle
and
Charlie, Uncle Charlie. Well, hey,
or the crew, and we yeah. So
yeah, thank you guys all for joining in. Trying to get the comments up there. All of you appreciate you guys, and I know there was absolutely zero notice, so appreciate you guys jumping on tonight. Um, yeah, Charles, I think you hit it, man. Yeah, aloha. Where the heck is all the aloha spirit? Are you coming in choppy? I'm not sure why, Charles. You're like, blah, 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 blah,
okay, can
blah,
you
blah.
hear me now?
I can hear you. It's just the video is kind of like grainy and falling apart. I don't know why.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's my eyes.
Might be no. You
It's
look
it's
perfectly fine.
you know
I'm
I watch a lot of YouTube videos live. A lot of it is to try to sharpen my craft about this podcasting system and learning new techniques and tricks, and some of these big time podcasters they start getting grainy. And one of the guys, this guy, his name is Doc Rock. He's a black dude. He's a brilliant mind as it relates to video editing and podcasting. But anyway, he's right there on Oahu. He's in Oahu. He lives in Oahu. He's been here for a long time, and I've got to know him. I never met him personally yet, but uh, and then his video, man, his video all the time gets all choppy, and I'm thinking, Doc Rock, man, you're like the guru, and what's happening? And he says, it's this Hawaiian internet, man. It's beyond my control. Beyond my, it was so cool because I first time I watched the show, I put in a comment about hold on here. Oh, there we go. Oh my God, there's a whole bunch more comments. Anyway, the first time I texted to him, he came back and he goes, Mel Raposo, are you like that big politician on Kauai? I mean, I guess he watches the news or reads. I don't know. And I said, no, man, that's my twin brother. That's my twin brother. But yeah. So this internet, man, it's the internet we cannot control. But no, you're all good now. You're all good now. So let me just, I just, sorry to hear about Blondie. Who's Blondie? I don't know. Blondie, not sure.
mm,
Maybe you can
yeah.
expand on that. Cheryl Paugofi Watson. I love this girl. Uncle
Yep.
Charlie, you know Cheryl. Uh,
I know her very well, and we miss her. But I just want you to know, Cheryl, that uh, John, Darren, and I have made a pact. We did a event on Thanksgiving. Well, it was after Thanksgiving for the Kupunas, and we performed for them at the Sheraton Puipu, and we had so much fun because some of them in the crowd, seniors, they remembered us from the days at the Kala Hill Steakhouse, and they said, is it possible you guys ever gonna get back? Well, we've made it a pact, and yes, definitely we're gonna get back, and they want us to play there at least once a week, and we'll be at Troy's. We just got to figure out a date, and then we may look for something in the central or eastern corridor to play. But I told them that I love to play, but at the same token, I just got to make sure that I take care of my health because this airport,
Yeah.
the airport is killing me. I love it. I love just mingling with people, but there's so much, and again, it's not one airport. I have the dubious task of overseeing all the airports in the state of Hawaii. So my whole goal is just to make sure passengers, workers, everybody stay safe. Even the person causing the trouble, they have to stay safe too. I don't want to see any injuries, and so that's our job.
Throw them
That's
off
our
the
job.
roof. Throw them off the
Yeah.
roof.
So
Throw them off the roof.
no, no, no.
Daniel Cummings, yeah, man. Doc Rock is amazing. I want to say, Cheryl Pokoff. I'm not a singer by any stretch, but when I run into Cheryl at a karaoke club, there's a song that we sing. We do a duet. She makes me sound so damn good. I would buy the CD. But yes, Daniel, Doc is the man. If you know him and you see him, tell him I said hi, man. The guy is just incredulous, and he has his own vocabulary. He creates his own words, man. It's just fun guy. I cannot wait till he comes to Kauai, and then we can. We're gonna. He told me um, that he wants to do a podcast with me, all in pigeon, all in pigeon. I told him,
Oh,
yeah, I
oh,
told him, yeah, you just named it because
okay.
he uses pigeon sometimes, and he starts off his show aloha, his closing is mahalo, and it's a big dude, man, big baller head black guy, and all he just
Yeah.
really he spends a lot of time training people how to become better podcasters. So all of this stuff that I'm using now, this everything is all right from his training, and appreciate the guy a lot, a lot, a lot.
There's someone that's watching us, and I do want to send a shout out to, and that's Kauai's own Sukanoho,
Oi,
who is
oi.
now, yeah, she's on watching, and I read the news clip that now she will be managing all of the Visitors Bureau for in the entire state. She'll
Charlie,
oversee all the different items. That's what I saw.
well,
Yeah,
and why? It's because like you, Uncle Charlie, you were
yeah,
the manager for Kauai, and it didn't take long, right? When you see
uh huh,
quality work, when you see loyalty, when you see dedication, when you see good leadership, that's what you do. You give them more work to do,
mm,
and that's and I mean that when I say it, and I mean that for you, Charlie, as well as Sue. We all know Sue. I mean, Sue is a tireless,
mhm,
amazing woman that just oozes aloha
mhm,
until you piss her off and the dragon come
yeah,
out. Yeah. I
yeah.
yeah. I won't share the story. I'll let her share the story one day when we have her on the show. But hey, guess who I had a long chat with yesterday? We did a Zoom call yesterday. Dr. Jerome Kim. Yeah,
What's he doing? How is he
he
doing?
is doing amazing, and he will be joining us again. But we just
Mhm.
talk story, man. Caught up on stuff, and uh, he you were wrong to push it. What did I push? Hold on. What is this? You were
No, I
wrong
saw
to
something that.
you were wrong to push it. Apologize. Still incognito. So many unexplained deaths. Don't fall for it again. Protect the KK and Kupuna. Okay. I'm assuming she's talking about COVID. Um. Oh, here we go. Busted. Yes. Yes. So you see, I can. I'm not looking. I'm only looking at my screen, so I don't get to see the people joining. Charlie's probably looking at his Facebook page. Uh. So, yeah, I don't see everybody on. I know that there's a lot of people on, but But
Yeah,
Sue, yeah,
good friend.
you're busted.
There's a good friend, Jeffrey Domdoma.
Yeah.
We became friends, and I went down. Originally, I went to the Nimitz Liliha Bakery, and lo and behold, this fine individual was my waiter. Gave us good service. Happened to be Jeffrey,
Wow.
and now he's at the international marketplace. And I tell you, he is so courteous, and it's always a pleasure to chat with him. So if you ever go to the international marketplace, Lily Hub Bakery, give a say hello to Jeffrey Domdoma. Super nice guy, super nice guy.
Yeah. Well, mahalo for joining, man. It's like I said, it's always fun doing this, but it's if it was just me and Charlie, it would be freaking boring. If it was just me and Charlie talking, so it'd be just blah. But it's you guys that make the show. You guys have always made the show, and we just truly appreciate you guys. Um, yeah, this is so cool. The old Kodak Hula show. I mean, damn, that's like that. You remember the Kodak Hula show? Who would ever think that it would go away? Right? It was such a
Right.
what word is that? It is was such a mainstay in Waikiki that it's nice to see it returning, revived, as Jeffrey said. So
Hmm.
perfect, good stuff. Slowly
Yeah.
by slowly, slowly by slowly, and that's really cool, really cool. Thanks for the info,
Well,
Jeffrey.
I'm glad they're bringing it back, but to see the pictures when Kimo Kahoano was that young, and to listen to him, he gave a little excerpt of what the hula show was all about, and then to fast forward to now, I mean, he's going to be 70, what, 75,
Wow.
and still looks good as ever. And he's still doing the MC work for the Kodak Hula show. It's now it's going to be called the Kilohana, right? Yeah, it has a different name to it, affixed to it, and it was it's just something for first time visitors to go and get to see free of charge. Just go there, and when it happens, it's going to be like the ambassadorship of Hawaii again. And I'm just so glad they're bringing back all these things that was back in the past, bringing it to nowadays.
The hotel shows. You remember all the different hotel shows. The
Yes, sir.
and it wasn't just in Waikiki, man. It was here. It was on Kauai, and we had all those Oahu bands coming down the Ali'is, um, Honolulu.
Chris Chang,
Yeah,
right at
Chris.
the
Yes, right.
yeah,
Kauai Resort.
Chris Chang.
Yeah. He
Yep.
had the connections to all the bands, and these were like local guys that had full time jobs, and they would get together and play music and travel the state. Actually, they would travel all across Guam and all over, and they were show bands. That's what they were. They were show bands. Um, they will.
Well, I had the privilege and honor while I was still in high school to do lights and sound for. I don't know if you remember. You heard of Roberto Nivera?
Of course,
He
man.
he was one of the mainstays with the Society of
Yes,
Seven.
that's right.
Well, I got to be at the onstage showroom at the Outrigger East, and I was his light and sound man for some time.
Wow,
And
wow.
so when Martin hit it big, I actually wrote to Martin because he was just a small little guy. He used to come in with the mom to the show, and I saw him, and to see he made it big now, it was unbelievable. And yes, Haunani, um, I'm sorry, Kiala, Dick Jensen was at the Oceania Floating Restaurant there at Aloha Tower back in the day, and
Hey,
Bart Besconi was
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Bart. Yeah, Bart Besconi was his musical director,
What was Dick
and
Jensen's nickname? Was it the Giant? What was his nickname?
yeah,
Was it
the
the?
Giant.
It was the
Yep.
Giant, right? Because he was a big
Hmm.
guy. He was a huge guy.
No, he was just big. I mean, he was on the Ed Sullivan show,
Wow.
and he was the one. To me, he was Hawaii's very first to do the slide or the moonwalk because he had the moves. I
Oh,
mean, he
really?
was he was a full-on entertainer. No ifs ands about it. Yeah.
Boogaloo
Eh,
Boogaloo at Territorial Tavern. Oh my
no,
God.
it was Booga Booga. That's what you meant
Yeah,
to say.
yeah, the Booga Booga.
Yeah, with
Booga
James
Booga.
Grant Benton
Boogaloo
and
Boogaloo.
Ed.
I'm gonna tell Ed Ka here. I see him. I'm gonna tell him that you call
Yep.
him Boogaloo Boogaloo. Is that the restaurant with the big fish tank? The restaurant with the big fish tank. The restaurant with the big fish tank.
That's over
Uh,
at Pac Beach, Pacific Beach
Pacific
Hotel.
Beach Hotel. Right. Right.
Yeah.
That's a
No, but this
huge.
was at Territorial Tavern was at the corner of Nimitz and the main drag that comes right down the center, right through downtown Honolulu, from Mauka to Makai. And the traffic light is right before Aloha Tower. Get the electric plant right there.
Hmm.
Off to the left was Territorial Tavern. People used to line up on the Nimitz Highway side, or Alamona Boulevard, I should say,
Hmm.
and go into the club over there. Yeah.
Yeah. I really miss those shows coming to. We didn't have much over here, and whenever those shows would come down, and uh, SOS Society 7 would come. Not often, but they would come, and then again, they were the bands that were like the Society of Seven, and again playing. They had all the horns. They had trombones, trumpets, they had saxophones, clarinets. They
Hmm.
just had the big band sound, and that was just so cool, so cool.
Well, the guy that was multi-talented with the SOS that used to play two instruments at once. He always played keyboard, but then he would either play a trumpet or a trombone. Was Don Gay? He was part of the original Society of Seven.
Oh,
So he's the one that, and then had Little Albert, Tony Rivar, Bert Sagum
yeah,
was
Bert
with,
Sagu.
and then Terry Lucido was that small comedian that was on the piano all the time. So they had that was a group. That
One of
was a
my
group back
favorites
then.
of all time, Liz Damon and the Orient Express.
Oh yeah,
That one of my
and
my
she was. What was the name of that? Was it? She was at the pagoda at the Sisibon.
Ceci Bon. Hmm.
Yeah, Club
Ceci Bon.
Sisibon. Who I see showing my age, boy.
No,
I better be
right.
quiet.
I tell you, I gotta tell you, man. When we do these things, Charlie, when we do these what the hell, reminiscing, when we talk about all the old times, you cannot help but feel good about the stuff. Whether we talk about food or entertainment, and I think a lot of people, it triggers a lot of people's memories, and we encourage you, please put it in the comments if you remember. What do you miss? Kiala, bingo, sea wind.
Yeah,
Yes. Hmm. That
Sunday
was cool.
Manoa. Yeah, and the
Uh,
old Blaisdell Hotel on Fourth Street. That's where Olomana used to play. It was that
Jerry
room that
Santos.
used. Yep, and back
Yeah,
then was Jerry Santos and his partner that passed away, the original
the
Olomana.
original.
That's what
Right,
it.
right, right, right.
And then Frank Hewitt was their male dancer that
And
used
he
to do
was
the
on our
hula.
show. We're gonna actually have him on. We're gonna have him on again. I just did. Frank Hewitt will be on our show again, and that guy, I've had the occasion to talk to. We had there's this thing called Clubhouse, and I was on his Clubhouse channel, and I listened, and he was just what he would talk about
Hmm.
was the history of the state of Hawaii, the old Hawaii, and oh my God, the guy is brilliant. What's up, Kaimana?
You know,
Aloha, bro.
you
Happy
talked
New
about
Year.
Seawind.
Yeah, remember
The
Seawind?
voice of the lead singer was Miss Pauline Wilson.
Pauline Wilson. Hmm.
Yes, Seawind.
And then, of course, we cannot forget C&K, Loyal Garner, Brothers Kaz. I
Yeah.
mean, they were, and then of course Kalapana. Oh my God, I remember Kalapana came to Kauai, played at the convention hall, and my best friend John Takamura, his sister had connections, so we were able to go in. She knew them, so we got a chance to go backstage after the show, and I was like, you talk about starstruck, because Kalapana in my day, them and C&K were the thing. And
Hmm.
to be in the back after the concert was done and everybody was gone and we were in the back, and just to just to oh my God. Yeah.
Well, speaking, someone I think it was Chris Fire. One of the comments was, back in the day, it wasn't only for tourists; it was for
Yeah.
everyone to enjoy. But remember now, the music wasn't only. I mean, you had some places playing down by Honolulu Community College. Right there, they used to have one place that used to have music, and then you'd work your way all the way out to New Valley, where they had the M's Ranch House, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Ranch House, and they used to have music. I mean, Brother Nolan was out there. Good kind music. And then, of course, the Noodle House in Waikiki, you had Frank De
Hmm.
Lima. And then you had Melvin. I remember when we would be finished with our show, we used to go to the canoe room at the Ilikai, and that's where we would see Melvin perform.
Hmm.
Now I got to play with I got to do when Barry Kim, and Barry, I think he finally retired from Maui County, but Barry Kim was also performing, and his musical director was a loyal Gardner's brother, Kimo Gardner. They used to be perform at the Waiohai back in the day,
Mm. Wow.
long time ago. Yeah.
Charlie, what was the one grown up live club that played music on the bottom of Kaimuki Town? It was made of stone. I have absolutely no clue. None.
Kaimuki.
Yeah.
Oh, Oasis, Chacos, Club Chacos. Oasis was right at the corner, right when you turn before you go down to the highway. Uh, I think there is a self storage right there at the corner. That used to be the old Oasis nightclub. I think
That's the
that's
one.
the one they're talking
That's the
about.
one. Mr. Encyclopedia Charlie. Yvonne
Yep,
Elliman,
Kiala.
Saturday Night Fever, man, made her absolutely famous. And then you got to
Yep.
remember Al Harrington and Danny Kalekini. The man, I got to meet Danny Kalekini before he passed away. What an amazing gentleman, an ambassador. The guy was just,
Aloha.
yeah,
Kaniala
yeah,
here.
yeah.
Denny
The
Clicky.
guy
Yep.
was just, yes, it
Hmm.
was the Oasis. Thank you, Charlie. Bingo. The other
Yep.
group that I really enjoyed was the Elise. You know, Don Ho and the Elise, and then the Elise broke off, and they had their own gig, and then Danny Couch broke off of that, and he had his own gig, and just right now, Charlie, we don't even think about this often, but when you start looking at all the names of this local talent that just came out of this small little state, incredible, incredible.
Well, you got the Cox Roost at the International Marketplace up on the second floor, and oh, what was his name? Because my cousin was the drummer actually for I can't even remember who performed there, but Cox Roost is up on the second floor. Um, yes, Adam Suopaia. He managed many different groups, and Queen Surf, Sam Kapu,
Oh,
Palani
Sam
Vaughn.
Kapoor, and in fact, Sam Kapoor has a son, right? That now
Yep.
plays music.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
another ambassador, in my opinion, Palani Vaughn. I got to meet him
Yes.
too. This guy's just
So you know
class.
the former, I guess, was battalion chief from Kauai County,
Yeah,
Kili
Pocky,
Paki.
Pocky. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's the daddy. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So
Hey, Sue
unbelievable.
Kanoho, you're on notice. They're calling you out, Sue. We need to regenerate this kind of entertainment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's been talked about tonight. It's starting to happen, and
Hmm.
that's what we got to do. Paul Medeiros, great memories. Thank you, Mel and Uncle Charlie. Happy New Year to both. Thank you, Paul. Thank you,
Thank
Paul.
you. Thank you, Paul.
Yeah.
You know, um,
Go ahead.
you know, like, having been so fortunate to get involved, I my cousin who played drums also played for Iva Kinimaka at the Garden Terrace at the Hilton Hawaiian Village. And then Lee Mula was a guitar player, and the musical director is Gary Shimabukuro. And so Lee Mula finally retired from Honolulu Fire Department, fire chief. I think he was at Kokini Station, if I'm not
Mm.
mistaken there. But I remember, you remember our brother Kaupena Kinimaka?
Oh yeah,
Well,
yeah.
growing up, I used to spend time with him and his Grandma Ann, who had an apartment right off of Kuhio. And every time I would go stay with them, it was always we had to go down to um, go see Iva, and it was just so much enjoyment. Just back then was good fun times. Was
Yeah.
good fun. Yeah, and I
Yeah,
enjoyed
and
it so
and
much.
we still got a lot of people around from that era, the kupuna, that when you sit down
Hmm.
and you talk story and yeah, Charlie and I are old, but when you talk to the true kupuna that are talking about the stories about how they throw net and all of that stuff, it was
Right.
you cannot replace that. I mean, you just cannot replace that. Oh yeah, Gabby Pahinui. How can you forget Gabby? Jeez, this
So
guy's.
Gabby, when he used to make it big, he played at Don Ho's in the International Marketplace. But he had the original group with him. You had At the time, you had Fitz Rogers, played steel guitar. You had Mokiale. You had Eddie Kamai. You had Joe Marshall playing bass. You know, and those were the days of good Hawaiian music. I mean, and it was always good to have them. They had a little bit under their breath, and they just even sounded even better. Was
Yeah.
a real honor of the music. Yeah,
Yeah,
and I
it,
miss
it,
that.
it
I
was
miss that.
really uh unscripted. It was
Hmm.
Kanikapila style, just I can remember, they would be looking at, hey Charlie, what next? What song? What song? Like you guys do at the
Mm.
at the steakhouse, right? What next? What
Yeah.
next? Okay, what are you gonna start in G, C, E, whatever? I don't know. I'm just, and they just ram them, and then it's like, damn, awesome stuff, man.
Yeah.
And the wonderful thing was because it wasn't a scripted show, and like I said, if you haven't seen Charlie Guys play it, you see it all the time. Where it is really a variety show, pretty much. It's the jokes and the comments and the again, so unexpected, and then the music is just great. So yeah, it's just good stuff.
We used to um we used to do. I mean, I always felt because of back then. I remembered how everything was. So the comedian and leader of the Ali'is back in the day was a piano player, Joe Mundo. He was the one that had the ball head in the front, and then Benny Chong was a guitar player.
Benny
So
Chong.
as you know, Benny, yeah. So Benny started to play in his years. He ended up playing over at Nico's Fish Market and all that. Good on the ukulele. But just to be in light and just watching how that was. I think that's how we adapted what we did. That is, we started off with Hawaiian, and we went up to contemporary, but we kind of relived the Waikiki scene just so everybody could have fun. We didn't want people to come to the steakhouse just to sit down and listen to music all night and we wanted it interactive, get involved with us, we get involved with them. And just, people just used to have fun and we miss that. And hopefully one day, John, Darren and I will bring that back for the people of Kauai. We
Well,
definitely will bring
I
that
a
back.
lot of people don't know this, but I played the trombone in high school. So if you
Hmm.
can ever make room on that stage for a
Oh,
trombone,
definitely.
I tell you, man, I
Definitely.
I ripped that trombone. I tell you, man,
Well, I love the sound of Tower of Power. And,
yeah,
like
without it,
Earth, Wind, and Fire,
that's
what
right.
makes it is that horn section,
That horn
you know?
section, and the trombone is the most
Yep.
unappreciated instrument in the band.
Hmm.
Yeah, because it's probably the worst instrument to learn. Yeah, look at Jeffrey. They went alphabetical, right? So by the time they got to R, there was not much left, and I ended up with the doggone trombone. And it's a fun instrument, but it's
Yeah.
the good thing about the trombone, the mouthpiece is big.
Yeah.
Not like the trumpet where you gotta, you gotta squeeze your eyes when you blow the damn thing. But the trombone is so much easier to blow, and you don't have to be accurate because it's all by ear. So yeah, let me know, Charlie, when you guys ready to French horn. Yeah, no,
Well,
hell no, no French horn for me. That mouthpiece is yeah, no. You fart every time you blow the horn. No, Wally, let me know when, bro. Bah, oh man, I ripped that trombone. I love it,
yeah.
man. I love it.
Well, if you look back, get a chance, go on YouTube. Try look at um, try look at Manao Company with their horn section. I mean, just two, one playing I think one playing sax and the other one playing trumpet. It's just one good playing. It's just a good blend in the background. So whatever horn section you can have, whether it's a trombone or a trumpet. I mean, some nights I just put on my headphone and I just drift off listening to Chris Body, Chuck Mangione,
Oh
Herb
yeah,
Alpert. You remember Herb
yeah.
Alpert and the
But see,
Tijuana? Yeah.
Charlie, they ain't playing a trombone. You cannot go to sleep with trombone music. Bop, 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 bop. That's what the damn trombone sound like. You ain't gonna go to sleep. You know. Look at let me put this back up. Melissa says she'll play the triangle at the end. Ding. Ding. Yeah.
Sandy Kinoshita says the point after, and believe it or not, my first security gig was at the original Hawaiian Region Hotel, and the point after was on the second floor. And this gentleman retired from DHHL enforcement, Francis Apollona. He was one of the key managers with Lee Afuvai and Tufi. Tufi was that huge bouncer they had there. And you remember they had that competition with all the different bouncers around the states. And Tufi from Hawaii went up against Mr. T. They had that show about the competition. So that was a place. And then you had Spats
Hmm.
over at the what is that the Hyatt Regency. You had Spats, and so they're talking about the point after because that was the disco era,
Oh yeah.
the disco era,
Donna Summer,
and
man.
then of course
Donna Summer,
you
baby.
got you got the Crush, all from Wailua, Oahu, the Fabulous Crush, Edwin Ramones, um, Hal Bradbury.
Hal
Oh, that guy got
Bradbury. That guy.
beautiful voice,
Yeah. Yeah. Hal
unbelievable.
Bradbury. Yeah. Forgot about the Crush. That's right. You cannot forget about the
Yep,
Fabulous Crush. All the
yep.
chicks on Kauai went to Kauai Resort to go see the Hal Bradbury.
Oh, guess who's on? Sale Atisanoi. Sale
Oh,
Va'a.
oh, bro. Sale. What's up?
Yes, he's on.
Ah,
He's on. Good to see him. We got to bring
I
him back on.
yeah, we do, we
We
do.
got
I
to
don't
bring.
even know what time it is in Japan, but he must be bored to death watching Mel and Charlie.
Yeah.
Aloha, brother.
And you
Yeah,
know what?
hey, Sally, let's hook up, man. Let's get you on, man. Let's get you on and share us with all that. Ah, man, I watched that. I think we may have shared this on the show in the past, but I remember watching his video when he was
Uh-huh.
eating. He does a lot of eating videos, you know. He just eat, and I was
Yep.
watching him eat this meat. It was the horse, and he was whacking
Sashimi.
him. Yes, and he
Yes.
made him look so. I told myself I will never eat a horse, never. But after watching him eat, bro, I wanted to eat horse. I wanted to eat horse.
Makes it look so good. Yeah.
Oh my god,
Oh,
oh my goodness, Bobby
but
McGee's.
they
Oh
talk
my
about
goodness.
places like yeah, and it was a lot of memories over there, but then there's some tragedies that happened. Won't get into that. But that that was you go to Bobby McGee's if you wanted to dance because they had a beautiful dance floor. And then of course Kamasami Kong, who's now in Japan. Yes, you're absolutely right. Um, the list goes on and on. What's up with Wailua Skies? Had Hal Bradbury.
Yeah, that's one
I
of
the
that's
last
the
time I saw him, yeah,
that
yeah,
song Wailua
that was
Skies
his
is who that
in the night and island rain. Yeah, that's the one.
Charlie, you're bringing back some
Just listening
memories,
to
man.
that, it was
Hey,
ooh.
Charlie, why don't we go to
Yes.
Japan? Why don't we go to Japan? I am not joking.
Uh,
Let's take the show on
the
the
only
road.
reason why, yeah,
Why?
the bed not long enough for me, and I heard the toilet's a little bit too low to the ground.
Well, if Saleh Atisanoy can sit on one toilet over
Can't
there,
do
well,
it.
or crouch or whatever, because yeah, their toilets are in the ground. Yeah, their toilets are in the ground. You know. Yeah,
Yeah.
the first time I went to Korea and I went into the public bathroom, I'm like, okay, what the hell? Okay, that's probably where you pee. Where do you make doo? I was in the Air Force. I asked my partner. I said, bro, where you take a dump? He thought that's the toilet. How? You learn quick. You learn real quick. You learn real
You
quick.
just cannot. You just gotta be make sure you eat plenty bananas because you don't like catch on cramp when you stay way down
Oh my god.
there.
Yeah, it's like holy crap. But I'm dead serious, man. We take this show on the
Mm.
road, man. We go to Japan and Saleh can host us. We can go stay in his mansion and eat raw horse, and I'll let you eat the horse.
Ooh.
I'm never mind. Um, Look, look, look. Japan has the
For the
best toilets in the world, guys.
for you folks that
uh,
just joined us, we are going down memory lane of all the entertainment we can remember and think of back in the day, the 60s and 70s in Waikiki, where back then everything was, we all had fun, locals, visitors alike. Um, you remember the old, what's his name, Mossman over at Queen Surf, right? The old Queen Surf.
I don't
There
even
was
know
a
where.
place,
Yeah, not
that
familiar.
was the original place if you wanted to have a good prime rib. And so you would go to Queen Surf. And it's no longer there, but that was the place to go. They had good entertainment, and I tell
Doug,
you,
Doug Mossman. Awesome.
yes.
You
Thank you,
know,
Kiala.
what an amazing think tank this is. I think there was not one
Yep.
question we couldn't answer without the help of the audience. That's like amazing.
Now remember, now Kiala is much younger than you and I.
Yeah, but I'm from Kauai, so I don't know all the Honolulu. I mean, it was much later that I got to enjoy the
Yeah.
Waikiki crowd and everything else. But the names, all of the names that you've met, not all, but most of them.
Well, you remember the Copper Kettle?
Nope,
Yeah, it was right on Kalakaua Avenue.
never heard of it. What
And
was what
then,
what was that? Was it like a nightclub?
no, it was a good eatery. Then, of course, remember you had the Wailana, the restaurant that finally closed down at
Oh
the
yeah, of
corner right
course.
across by
Yeah,
Hilton.
yeah.
I
That
mean, if
that
you wanted to have unbelievable French dip sandwiches, but you see, those places used to open 24/7. So after you go to the clubs, like for us, once we closed down, put away all the equipment, um, Roberto would take us to go places like that, go eat, and then of course, you had the Chuck Wagon, you had all those kind of places back in the day, and you
Monterey,
really,
Monterey. What is it? Monterey. What the heck was it? Monterey Bay Canners or whatever.
yeah, the
And
one in the ward or the one up in Pro Ridge.
Pro Ridge was the only one I'm aware of.
Yeah, there was one up
I
in
think I
Ward.
honestly
Yeah.
think my wife is drinking alcohol.
What?
Can you and Charlie sing? She's drunk. And
Coco's. Now, Coco's, guess where Coco's is? That's where, Hard Rock Cafe, right across from the convention center as you entering into Waikiki on Kalakaua, Kapiolani, right
mm,
there.
yeah, yeah.
You going into Waikiki. Right there was a Hard Rock Cafe. And before that, there was this restaurant that looks like a volcano. That's the original Coco's,
I remember seeing
right at that, right at
I've
the
never
intersection.
been there. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
Wailana will now become an ABC store. That's kind of a shame because that was the Wailana was the place.
Yeah.
It was the Yeah, Honey and BC. Yes, the Fabulous Crush and Society 7. Yeah, the Crush used to come actually a lot, and the Casuals used to come a lot, and yeah, we had a good time.
Now, the
Kuhil Grill.
casuals. So as you know, if you listen and you just go read up research on the casuals, most of them were from Guam.
Oh yeah.
They made it big in Guam. So that's why, for some reason, uh, when Mackie, Mackie Fury and the gang from Kalapana,
Hmm.
they had sold out concerts in Guam. They were just loved there. So
Yes,
it's all
Sale
beautiful place.
Flamingo. If you're talking about Flamingo, yeah, it's gone. That's not there no more.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate. And then here comes the the younger generation, Showbiz Pizza in Castle Park. Oh my goodness, that's a long time ago. That's a long. Yeah, that's how you know they yeah. That's what they remembered. Castle Park was
Yeah.
yeah. For those of us that couldn't afford to go to Disneyland and Disney World and everywhere else, and that was the place, right? Yeah, that was the place.
Yep.
Oh, check this
Yep.
out. The original Coco's will now be a Chick-fil-A. Oh, I didn't know that.
Wow.
Oh,
Thank you for
now
letting us know.
yeah, that is actually, Chick-fil-A is not bad.
Okay.
I will tell you. Now I know where you're going,
So
Charlie, right?
if Yeah, so if you go down Dillingham, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dillingham Boulevard, and before you used to have on Scissors right there on the corner, and before there was a Boulevard Simeon. The next over behind there used to be the old Gems, right? And I
Yeah.
think it's Ross's now. Well, the Checkers and Pogo Sky Slide was over there.
That's right.
And so whenever you would go, your parent would get you, buy you a couple of scripts so you can go up, and then you go to this big bin that had all remnant carpets that was
Yeah.
cut, and you would have to grab one. And the key was going down that slide, and don't let your hands go off the rails, or not you're gonna get burned
Yeah, you get the
going
kind
down the slide.
mean burns like that. You talking? So there were two sky slides, right? There was one in Waipahu. Is that the one you're not talking?
Yes.
You talking about that one in Waipahu? Right down from
No, no. This
Gems.
was in. They had the other one in Dillingham,
Okay,
off of
so the
Dillingham
yeah, the
Boulevard.
one in
Yeah.
Waipahu, which was back
That's
then,
by
it was
Lex Brody's.
you had
It's by Lex
Gems,
Brody's.
right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
again, a lot of people don't know. I lived in Waipahu, right up from Gems. If you go up that road, I lived in what is called Harbor View, which is right up there. And we would walk down to Gems, and we would in a lot of canals over there, and we would go through the canals and find bottles, and then we would take the bottles, the soda bottles, and
Uh-huh.
we would take it to Gems, and we would cash them in, and they would give us we would get enough bottles so we could get enough money to buy the Sky Slide ticket, and then go ride the Sky Slide, and that was
Well,
like
you got.
that was amazing, man, amazing.
So yes, you're right, Chris. It was Wigwam, and
Yeah, we
Jeff, you're right. Mapuna Puna, where Surfco is today, that was the old Gibsons, and that's where they had a sky site. I think it Jumbo's. Uh, it's like a Kenny Burger House right on the corner. I don't know if it's still there or not, but yes, they had a sky slide at the parking lot.
Yeah, that's right. I remember they had two Sky Slides. I never been to the one by Wigwam, but I did. I
Yeah,
did. Whenever we could find enough bottles to raise enough money to go get a ticket, that's what we would do. Wow,
that's it.
unbelievable.
But there's no place like Arakaki's. I think you mean
Our
Arakawa's, right, Kiala?
Arakawas, yeah, Arakawas, right, right.
The one in Waipahu,
Yep,
at with a mill. I mean, with a smokestack,
yep,
and everything was Palaka driven.
yeah, that's
Everything
right.
you go inside is all Palaka,
Yeah,
Palaka driven. Yeah,
yeah, that was so
that's
cool,
right.
man.
Waipahu slide, Sally. That's right.
Son of
Oh
a
my
gun.
goodness, Woolworth Restaurant, the one down Fourth Street or the one at Alamoana, they had the best French dip sandwich. That's the one they ask you, hey, you like me dip the whole bun inside the gravy? And you go, yep. And the burger be all soft by the time you unwrap that
Yeah,
package and whack that meat. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
know the fried chicken at Woolworths on Kauai was the
Mm-hmm.
best fried chicken. I'm assuming I don't know because I never had a Woolworths Honolulu chicken, but the Woolworths on Kauai was the amazing chicken. Fried chicken was, and they had icy. Remember icy, the red and the blue, and then you cut the diamonds on the cup and you save them, and when you had enough, you could go get a free small icy. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we never had money,
Mm-hmm.
so we had to go find bottles or cut diamonds out of cups to go make enough to get one icy. And we thought, I mean, that was such a accomplishment, man. And today, nah, no more that kind of stuff. Yeah, everybody get $100 bills in their wallet.
Well, there's this one place across from Kaimuki High School that I still remember as a small kid, and it's still there. Was the Sakia restaurant,
Oh
Japanese
yeah,
restaurant,
yeah,
Sakia.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But it's just not like how it was back in the day.
Oh really, really?
Yeah, changed a little bit, but it's still there. And then if you go up the road on the left, as you're entering Wailai, as you're going up Wailai Avenue on the left, right before when you turn by Chaminade, St. Louis, right before that turn, they have on Shakey's Pizza, and then in between there, they had the M's hamburger, the M's burger joint right there. Made the best hamburger. Across was a St. Louis Delicatessen. Oh my goodness, my goodness, my
Oh,
goodness.
now we're going deep now, Sandy. Shirokia food samples. Oof, bingo. Yeah, that's the one. Rainbow
Yep.
Rollerland on Keomoku. I'm assuming that is a
Case,
roller rink. I don't know. I'm
KC
not sure.
Drive-In, home of the waffle dog. Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
Perry
Perry Boy
Boys.
Smoggy.
Oh my God.
That was at the
Oh my
Outrigger
God.
Main Head, the Perry Boy Smoggy. And the
Man.
first thing in line, what's the first thing in line when you get your plate and you go up to that buffet line in Perry Boy Smoggy, especially on a Sunday? They had like two, three big pans of nothing but scrambled eggs.
Oh really? I never been
Oh,
there.
that was
Never been there. I don't even know
my
what the hell
dad.
a
My dad.
smorgy is. What is a smorgy? Short for smorgasbord? Is that what that is? I don't know.
Yep, that's what it is.
What about?
They
What
had
about? What about Farrell's ice cream.
Oh,
You remember
can
Farrell's?
somebody can somebody name the first pharaohs that came out? Where was that location?
I'm thinking Kahala, maybe.
You're absolutely right. And
Yeah,
then the next location came up. It was in the international marketplace in the back by Don Ho's.
yeah. I because my stepmom's parents lived in Wailea, Kahala, and I
Yeah,
yeah,
Pharaohs
and
came after Porridge. Yeah.
yes,
Mhm.
and we went to Farrell's, and I was just totally blown away because the
You remember when they had
siren.
the zoo? If you ordered the zoo, they ring the bell, they run around the place, get two people with the ice cream, and they got to make
Yeah,
sure the thing don't tap on you. The thing get about 48 scoops of ice cream or whatever. And
yeah.
that was the thing. The
Scared.
siren, everything
If
was
you
just, yep.
didn't know it was coming, it scared the bedoogies out of you, man. Yeah,
Yep.
I actually didn't even really like their ice cream, but it was fun to watch, I guess. And people running all over the damn place, and like, really, I just want an ice cream.
So the Jolly Roger, the one I remember I want to say it was in Kahala. Um, in fact, I used to go listen to our good friend. We had him on our show, Brickwood Galateria. He played with his trio
Oh,
back
really?
in the day at Jolly Roger. Oh, he's such a talented musician. Brickwood Galateria.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Scotty's on Kemogo, 23-cent hamburger, 14-cent fries, and 10-cent soda. When was
And
that? Now, not even when was that? I mean, I can remember Louis Dairy Queen when I played t-ball and baseball. The park was right behind the Dairy Queen, and I think I've said this many times on the show. 99 cents hamburger, French fries, and Coke. 99. I'm trying to figure out. This is 23. It's 37. Yours is only 47 cents. So that must have been in 1842 or
yeah.
sometime around
And what was the place right at Kaka'ako, the wharf,
there. Oh,
the restaurant? And upstairs used to have that the bar was at the top.
the Fisherman's Wharf.
And Fisherman's Wharf, that's
Yeah,
right. And
yeah.
Brickwood used to play upstairs with Paul. I want to say Paul Martinez,
I
and
that
then I had Imai Kalani Young, Mo Kalani Young. They used to. Imai was a bass player. Imai Kalani Young and Mo.
oh, Cakey Land. Oh, now. Yeah. Yeah. Cakey Land. Never been there, but I saw the
He's
commercials.
Junkies is where you would go after the football games at the old Termite Palace, right? Junkies was right next door,
Yeah.
across from the
Yeah.
Moilili field. Yep. Oh, your
Yum
dad just
Yum Yum
joined us.
Tree. Yum Yum Tree in Kahala. I've seen Yum Yum Tree come up quite a bit. Quite a bit.
Katamaduli. Yes.
What? What about Kata?
He had the karaoke. He was running the karaoke up at the Fisherman's Wharf upstairs
Oh, yeah, I see him on his daughter's
in
show.
the
And
bobsled.
yeah, that man, that is so
Yeah.
cool, you know. That is so cool
Yeah.
to have your music. Your dad is right there with you playing the bass. Boom, 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 boom,
You
boom.
know him and I cannot for the life of me steel guitar player. But anyway, the two of them was on the cruises. So when the cruise came to Kauai, and this was when we were playing at Kaleo Steakhouse, him and that gentleman, for the life of me, and he won several na hoku hoku, and I cannot remember a good guitar player, steel guitar player. But they would come up and they jumped on stage with me, Dane, and John Mai, and
Really?
we just jammed the night away at the Kaleo Steakhouse. You know, somebody asked me the other day, "Hey, Uncle Charles, I saw you in a picture with this country guy playing." And yes, you're right. That was Toby Keith. Toby Keith jumped on stage with us, and he wanted to. And the night he came in, we just thought he just wanted to just relax, but he wanted to jump on stage, and he just did a 45-minute concert with us. It's just that a lot of the songs that he was known for, like Red Solo Cup and all that, we couldn't play because of his contract deal with the label and all that, so he couldn't do it. But man, he would do "Don't Be So Sad," I know it's over, all those songs, reminiscing. And our prayers go out to him. He was diagnosed with, I believe, he was diagnosed with the big C.
Mm.
But he's a fighter, but he's lost a lot of weight.
Oh, really?
So somebody asked about that. Yeah. So that was Toby Keith.
That
You
guy's a
saw us on
true
YouTube.
true
Yeah.
American man. He's a true American patriot. His songs, I tell you
Yep.
that yeah. I mean, I if you ever get down and out, you play his songs and you get he'd bring you right up, man. Yeah,
Mhm.
that is
Mhm.
oh, here we go. Now we're going crack seed. We're going down to crack seed stores now. That I sure miss those. I sure miss those. Top of
Okay.
the shop, top of the shop, Kapiolani. Yep. Oh, here we're
Well,
going Kaimuki
we
Q
also
now.
had
Now,
Kamuki Q, Wildlife Drive-In, Tierra, Craxi Stockhouse Varsity Tierra. Oh my goodness.
while I
Kamuki
drive in,
Q.
built it on a graveyard. Yeah, yeah. I didn't know that. Oh my god. Oh my god. Damn. Woohoo. This
Well,
scary
that's the
place.
place. That's the places to hang out. I tell you. Back in the day, I remember living up towards Oliver Heights, and all we had was on 10-speed Schwinn bike. Remember Schwinn?
Oh, of course.
And I think I told this story before. You take all the back roads, you come down by the backside by the Puna Gate, you come all the way down to Judge Street, and you go down Liliha until you hit Liliha and Kokini. Was Honda's Delicatessen, right? Right there. You give them $3 worth, you get your sushi, your tempura, your hash, your egg, and your terry beef. But I say you like to take the hot dog. You wrap them up. You jump on your Schwinn bike. You cross over to Kuala School. You go down towards Punch Bowl. Come over the top, and you come on the backside by Roosevelt, and you start going in towards Waikiki. And where you spend the rest of the day, and you already get lunch, you swim down at the natatorium. Then when was Paul, you follow that same route, and you go back home to Alewa Heights.
Damn.
And we used to do that on the weekend.
That's pretty
Them with
far,
the
Charlie.
days.
That's pretty far.
Well, you say have me and two other guys that live in the neighborhood. We do that on the weekends every single time. Every single time.
Okay, now we're talking about clothes. India imports, the brown leather
Yep.
belts, purses, and of course, Jeffrey, you the best store for Angel Flights. How old is? I mean, Angel Flights. Oh my lord. Oh my god. Charlie, did you ever
Hey,
have
I want to give a
you,
shout out to.
you
Uh,
Charlie, you had Angel Flights. I gotta ask because
no, no, I never have angel flights.
yeah, okay.
My angel flights is my brother would hand his pants down to me. It was too big, and I would cut the bottoms off and just
Yeah,
let the thing stay tattered.
yeah.
But I
I
did want to send a shout out to a good friend, Hamilton Rodriguez. He retired as a lieutenant, Maui Police Department, but now he lives in Las Vegas, and he's on with us tonight, all the way
wow.
from Las Vegas. Yeah.
Wow.
So I'd like to say aloha to Hamilton. Yep, Hammy. The Manapua truck on on School Street. Yep. Was also the Shave Ice. If you remember, right between you going down School Street to the left, and you hit the first set of housing across from the park, the ball field, and down that lane you used to have like this trailer that was up on stilts. They had the best Simeon hamburger and Shave Ice back in the
You
day.
know where else too? I never had a bad meal um in a bowling alley. You know that?
Campbell, Campbell.
Campbell, their oxtail is nuts. But I mean, no
Yep.
matter where I went, whether it was Polly Lanes, Campbell, even the ones on the military bases, of course, Alamoana Bowl on Kauai long ago. I mean, I wish we had that back.
Yeah.
Um, and it was like their burgers were crazy. The food was was really really good.
Mhm.
I don't care what bowling alley. It was kind of weird how that.
Yep.
I don't know if any of you know of a bowling alley that has bad food. Even the
Well, they
Rice Street Bowling Alley over here, they do really well with the food, man. It's good stuff.
well, believe it or not, I used to partake in alcoholic beverages a lot.
Really? You,
So,
Charlie? Are you serious? Really?
but if any of you out there, just give me a high five. But if you remember the old stadium, right behind the old stadium, we had Bolodrome, And in Bolodrome had one place where everybody, usually a lot of the police, well, the policemen used to go across at the St. Louis clubhouse, but they had that place where they had one good bar and a lot of good poo-poos at the Bolodrome. That was that was some deal back there.
Air Bowl is the bomb today. Thanks, Danny. By the way, Danny, mahalo for all you do, bro.
Yeah,
Mahalo for all you do. Pearl Harbor Bowling Alley. Yeah, I used to coach Special Olympics, and for many years, and we would always do our state games at on Oahu at Hickam or at Pali,
hmm
or even at Pearl Harbor, and always had a blast. Always had a blast. Good stuff.
wow. Well, Jeff, the Bolodrome, yes, it's still standing there, but the backside is, I forget which tow company. It's not Pine Ridge, but it's one of the tow companies has it as a one of their base yards back there.
Bowladrome.
But yeah, it's we started off, gang, with all the musical entertainment, a blast from the past. We went into Waikiki and we just started to talk about a lot of the old, just just a lot of the musicians back then. And back then was nice, clean fun. Nobody went out get drunk and then get wild after that or get crazy. You know what I mean? It was, and back then we had people knew what designated drivers were like back then because we'll never let a friend who's been a little bit too tipsy attempt to drive home. So, but things have changed over the years, and that's
Yeah.
sad. But yeah,
Yeah. And now we get Uber and Lyft, man. There's no damn excuse, there's no
yeah,
damn excuse. But we went from music, we went to food, then we went to clothes for a very short. You notice how quick we went jump back to food. Yeah. The angel flights
yeah.
never
Hey,
last. It was just down, gone.
hey, how's about the old movie houses like Toyo Theater and Varsity Theater, Cinerama, King Theater? All the different theaters all in Honolulu. I'm sure you know all the ones. I see it every time going into Hanapepe. They get the old theater back there, right?
Yeah.
And look
Yeah.
like somebody's trying to remodel that thing into, I don't know if it's a bed and breakfast now, but it looks that way. They're doing some building back there.
Oh, we had I forget what the name of that theater was. Somebody would know. Nelson Garcia might know. But we had Kilauea Theater, we had Lihui Theater, we had Kauai Theater, we had Roxy Theater, we had, and now we don't want nothing, zero. I was thinking, Charlie,
Yeah.
Macy's is leaving, right? They're going out of Kukui Grove. 40 people gonna lose their job. Wouldn't that be a great thing to put a theater in there? Like put up a few screens and
They, yep, they've been, they've been talking about it, but it saddens me to think an anchor tenant like Macy's. So
yeah.
now you only got anchor tenants like Times, CVS.
Hmm.
Thank God they got Targets that came in, and then of course you got Ross's. But there's certain things that you could only find at. And I want to send a shout out to my classmate. Her maiden name was Debbie Lincoln, and she was a manager over at Macy's. And to see them now going under, it's sad. It's really
Yeah,
sad.
Jay, you're right. Aloha Theater, that was the one. Hanapepe, that was Aloha Theater. You're right. This guy's
Yep.
older than me, and he get better memory than me. Yeah. Yeah, I was talking to I actually met a guy who that's what he does, and I forget where I met him. I was probably in the mainland, but we were just casual conversation. Found out that that's what he did. He did theaters, but he said the
hmm
cost now. The cost that these movies demand
For the
is
showing,
for the showing.
the
Uh,
licensing fees, and all of
correct.
that stuff. Yeah.
Yes, and if it's a first run, you cannot make money. And that's why when you go there, the popcorn is $420, and the Snickers is $1,200, and the soda is like $88 for the small. That's why, because they're not making much off of, unless you go on one of those big mega theaters that get 12 screens and 5,000 seats, and then you can possibly make out. But I was shocked when he
Brother,
told me.
brother.
I don't remember the cost, but it was nuts.
You go to the Ward Theater. It's not cheap. Now they get reservations where you gonna sit down,
Yeah, you can
and
eat
then
and drink.
yeah,
You can eat and drink
but
in there.
you
Like,
but, but you look at the cost. How much? I mean, for two people for going inside there. So you know what? Thank you to Prime Video and Netflix. I'll just wait my turn and wait for the thing come
yeah,
out.
I mean, it's the experience though, right? And of going in a theater and you know blowing out the eardrums. My first movie in Oahu, and I saw this earlier, Star Wars, and I was at Kailua. I was living in Kailua at
Oh
the
yeah.
time, and my classmate John Dei, I'll never forget him. John Dei was his last name, and his parents said, "Hey, you can invite X amount of kids. We're gonna all go watch the Star Wars." And
Hmm.
I mean, my dad used to run the projector at Kauai Theater. I mean, we used to go up there and help him push the carbon rods in to, that's what makes the light. Anyway, but it was a
The
very
Arc, the
the
arcing.
arc, yeah,
Yeah,
and was
yeah.
very small theaters, right? It was just not very big. So I remember getting to that Cinerama hotel theater and going inside and looking at up and seeing that big screen and the amount of seats, and then Star Wars, right? It was one of the pioneers of the special effects and sound effects, and oh man, that was something else. That was something else. And after that, until you know the ones at the ward theaters came up, it's hard to go back to another theater because of that Cinerama back then. And I can only imagine what these new theaters with the new technologies must be like. I haven't been in a theater for a very, very, very long time. I don't even remember the last time I went to a theater. Seriously.
Well, the Cinerama Theater on what is that? King Street, King and Kalakaua, and right across uh, in the Waikiki direction, across from the Cinerama, was the first RB's before they opened the one up at in Kailua, RB's Drive-In. And I tell you, that's where when Star Wars came out, we went to see it at the Cinerama Theater when it
Yeah,
first came
it
out.
was it's big, and it was amazing, man. It's
But
just
my mom used to take us to the Waikiki theaters, the one on Kalakaua, not the ones on the seaside. But we went there just to listen to John DeMello. I think he was playing the keyboards, the big organ at the time. Right before the show would start, he'll play music. And inside there, they had that make believe coconut trees. And as the movie would go on, they show these clouds moving up on the ceiling and get stars. That was the original Waikiki Theater. And the trivia I started earlier, that I forgot the name of the guy who performed at the Cox Roost. It was Gary Compton. My cousin played for him. He was like the Dick Jensen of the time back then, Gary Compton, and his brother is Norm Sua. And if you don't know Norm, Norm was he made it big. He worked with Sly Stallone on a lot of his films. Um, he provided you know protection work with Dolly Parton before. Good brother from Hawaii. Him and Baba Pisa was part of the Stuntmen's Association. All local guys. They started that stuntman in Hollywood. So give a shout out to Norm and his gang. Yeah, but that was back then.
so different now, man. Yeah, look, my
Yeah, yeah.
my dad thought I forgot about Kauai Theater. No, I don't forget that. I remember going with you. I remember I remember being up in the projector room, and back in the day, I mean, you had to change the reels. It was crazy, and I just my memory isn't the best, but some things in my life that happened when I was very young stays in my brain like it was yesterday, and that's one of them. And maybe it was just because it was daddy time. I don't know, but I can remember those rods. I remember those rods that would go in, and pops used to run the thing, man, and that was pretty cool. Actually, that was pretty cool. That was kind of
Somebody wrote Mahi Beamer played the old piano. I think I saw him at Biggie's Nut Shill in Kailua one time on the backside in Kailua. played music back there.
Yeah. Yes. Amazing, amazing history in this wonderful place, and you cannot help but wonder: is it? Is it? Are we gonna lose? Oh my God! Not yeah. Here, okay. Kuili,
Yeah, Queely.
Kuili. Yeah. Yeah, he died young. Yeah, Kui. Remember when? I can't
Yeah,
remember. It was if I
I'll
remember.
remember. I'll remember you.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, Kui Lee. And
yeah.
I for some reason I'm remembering that it was unexpected or tragic. I don't know why. But that's kind of what I remember. I don't
No,
remember.
he died of. I believe he passed away of cancer.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
he
Yeah,
was one of the. But
Kui
he
Lee.
he was just he was an unreal music writer. He could write some music, boy. And then Lopaka Bao. Maybe Andrew, is it Lopaka Brown?
That yeah, he's talking about the Kauai Marketplace Jolly Roger. Andrew is a Kauai
Oh,
guy.
okay.
Yeah, he's a Kauai guy. So he must be talking about the Jolly Roger at
Yeah.
the
Okay.
marketplace. Oh my God.
Milk a bang.
Oh my God. Were you guys there when I took Patsy to the Melka
Yeah,
Bang
Uncle
concert?
Mel.
Because that's exactly what happened to me, man. We had our prom. We had our prom. Patsy is watching. She remembers this, and after the prom, we went.
Did he light you up with
Oh,
his big
he
spotlight on
bruh,
stage? Did he
you know
light
what?
you up?
Okay, imagine this, right? Imagine we're young kids. We're high school kids, and we walk in with our prom attire, which was the dumbest thing you can ever do. Going to a Melka Bang show, wearing one tuxedo and one prom dress, and this lady, he tells everybody too in the beginning. He goes, don't go use the bathroom during the show. Don't use the bathroom during the show. But this lady, I don't know if Patsy remembers this, but the lady, he's this tourist, gets up and and she starts walking towards the bathroom. He gets the spotlight. He whack him with the spotlight. Where you going, ma'am? Ma'am, where you going? And she's, now she's all embarrassed. Don't go. Do not go to the bathroom in the middle of my show. And anyway, she goes right, and then he tells the crowd what she doesn't know is I have a microphone placed in the toilet in the bathroom. So let's see. And then he had his little recorder, right, that he would always play his sound effects. And this guy, he's like, he plays all these sounds, and the people is just roaring and roaring and roaring. And this poor thing, when she walked back in, he just had rip her apart. I felt so sorry for her, man. I feel so
We
sorry.
weren't that bad. Remember when people would get up and they'd go use the restroom when we say playing, and they would stop and go, "Hey, where you going?" As soon as they go in the bathroom, we tell everybody, "Okay, when they come out, give them one standing ovation," and they would come and everybody's like, "Ah."
Yeah, you gotta go toilet before. Malcolm Bang, he was just too much. He was funny though. I mean,
Yeah.
he made a living just picking on people. He just picked on people all day now, all night. That's what he did.
You
Um,
know he won one of those publishers clearinghouse, huh? He
no,
was one of, he won on small. I think it was um I think it was like 30 or 40,000. They show him with the check that he won the publishers clearinghouse
really?
because he was living in Vegas. He was living in Vegas, right?
Yeah.
He moved to Las Vegas. Yeah, he won one
I don't think the guy could
before he
read.
passed
I
away.
don't think that guy could read. So I'm sure he wasn't buying magazines. He was getting all the free entries. The ones you can enter for free.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think he could read. Kiala said she thinks it's 1 million that he won.
I don't know if it was one mean.
Well, he probably
Yeah,
had to
ain't
pay
no
them all
big
back.
thing, brother.
He had to pay them all back to the IRS
For the
because he,
for the time
yeah,
was
yeah.
it Texas? Yeah.
No, Malcolm Bang
No,
passed
Melka Bang
away. Yeah,
passed away.
he passed
Yeah.
away. Oh my God, that's right, Leahi, our own
No,
Leahi.
Cooley, yeah, ain't no big thing. That's what ain't no big thing, brother. When things ain't looking up, that's the one.
Yep. Kewalo Basin Harbor, Leahi, our Loki and Malia from Kauai, man.
Uh-huh.
They good. That they're amazing. They're amazing too.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's good stuff. Jesus Christmas, man. I gotta tell you guys, this that I can sit and do this all night long. And it seems like you would think that by now we would have covered everything, and yet you guys still putting up
No, we
more
get
places and names, and and songs like "Ain't No Big Thing Brother." I mean, that song was kind of like regular. All the radio stations played that song at the time, and
Yep.
you don't hear it no more unless you're listening to the Hawaiian station. Um, good stuff. Good stuff.
You worked at Lexington and made the cut.
Hey man,
Oh,
our Herbig brothers, man, they fell short. Fell short. The Steelers didn't make it to the Super Bowl. Not making it to the Super Bowl. But
but
we still got some local brothers up there, and wishing them all the best,
yep.
man. Want somebody from Hawaii to get that doggone trophy and the ring. Andy
Mel, I
Bumatai.
would,
Sorry, I
yeah, Andy
just
Bumatai. No,
sorry.
I would like to send a, no, no. I would like to send a shout out to everybody for throwing in all the different, taking us down memory lane, because that's what we miss nowadays, is that feel good session when we can just talk about things that made us feel good back then. And if we were able to bring a little smile on your faces tonight and share a lot of the stories, then I feel blessed. I feel blessed because that's what it was kind of healing for me. And I want to thank Kiala and the village, because there's some information that just, as you get older, it just slips your mind, but they're right there to kind of fill in the gaps there. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for saying that, Charlie, because it was a rotten week. Today was a horrific day for me, and it just was. And you get those days every now and then, and just a day full of stress and just nonstop, and to the point where I was late for the show, man. That's horrible. But within 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes, I was like, I'm over that nonsense, and I'm actually having a good time, and I'm feeling good, and I hope,
Good.
like Charlie said, I hope you guys enjoy the journey down memory lane. Like I said, we will be bringing on guests once I get back in the groove of. I have I've spoken to actually Dr. Kili Akina, OHA trustee. I just saw him at the legislature opening, and he wants to come on the show. Senator, believe it or not, Senator Jared Kyohokulele, who we weren't always the best of friends, but I got to tell you, over the last couple of years, we have mended the fence, and I got to see him as well, and he also would wanna come up and join us on the show. As I mentioned earlier, Dr. Jerome Kim, and a lot of people wanna just come on and just shoot the stuff with us, and
Hmm.
and and over no specific topic. That's why I wanted the name to be the Coconut Wireless, because it just gives us the latitude to talk about whatever we want, bring on whoever we want, and yeah.
You, one day, and you remember this, Mel? I just had the bug to search the internet and find as many old pictures as I could. So I started off putting out the old Aloha. Was it Aloha Motors, where the convention center is? There was the old Chevy dealer over there back in the day. I started that. Then I started to post the old Fort Street Mall, where back then they used to have like the cable cars, same ones that would run into Waikiki. But it was a little different because, like in San Francisco, you get off and it has a turntable, right? And you turn you would help push and face the cable car to go back. Well, in Hawaii, back in the old days, when you reach the end of the line, everybody would have to get out and they flip the seats, and the thing faced the other way so you can ride back the other way.
Oh, really?
So yeah, so those are the kind of things that you remember back in the good old days. And then we cannot miss out. How I used to come to Kauai all the time. I remember Club Jetty. I was a small
Oh,
kid. My dad, when I would come visit my dad, he right behind Pizza Hut, have all the different streets that have Japanese names to it. But they used to have boarding homes for like a lot of the construction workers that was working up at Princeville at that time. And I used to miss my dad so much that I would come up to Kauai, and that's how I met Kaupena. But back then, there were a lot of things we could. I remember the old Maxi service station
oh
at the
yeah.
bottom of the
No, really, really.
Rocky
I mean,
Hill, right there,
the
right across,
best, the best, the best
right across from
apple,
the
the
harbor
apple
where
kernel.
the restaurants are located.
Yeah.
that used to be the old gas station, Maxis.
Maxis, yep.
So just bring back so much memories of all the different locales back then.
Um, Kiala is asking that we all say a prayer for that little baby that was born on a sidewalk in Hilo to that homeless lady. What a tragic
Carolyn
story. I mean,
Marys.
um,
I
yeah,
wonder if I froze.
yeah.
Did I
Can you hear
freeze
me?
up again?
Yeah. Can you hear me, Charlie? Yeah. You froze up, Charlie.
Hello, brother Mel. Can you hear me? Okay.
I can hear you. Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me? Who? Can you hear me or can you hear Charlie? Because I
Okay.
can hear Charlie, but he can't hear
Yeah,
us.
I think I might have frozen there for a little bit.
Yeah, you're still frozen. What the heck's going on? Oh, he's out. Um, yeah, that's the Hawaiian internet, the Hawaii internet. Okay, here he comes back on again. There you are. Can you hear me now, Charlie?
Yeah, I was
Okay.
frozen on my end. Sorry
Yeah.
about that.
No, 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 man, no problem. I just wanted to. I gotta go find that doggone thing now. Um, we get so many comments. Lord have mercy. Thank you guys so much. Okay, here we go. We'll do it again because I think you,
Yeah.
you weren't able to hear me, but the tragic
Yeah.
story about the baby that was born on Hilo on the sidewalk and
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
rescued, and so yeah, Gallup. Thank you. We'll all say a prayer for that little angel and
Mhm.
her mom. She needs it just as much. Yeah, it's it's Hawaii. It's just not the same. It's just not the same Hawaii. But it's up to us, right, to make
Yeah.
the best of it. Um, he went to go get a Snickers bar.
Nope. Nope. I gotta make sure that I'm a good boy tonight. No Snickers bar. No Snickers bar. But I did make hamburger patties for dinner, boy. It's been a while since I had a good hamburger patty. So
Oh yeah, my mother-in-law made us chili. I mean, a stew tonight. Oh my God, it was delicious. It was delicious.
yeah.
So
I,
anyway,
I
go
one
go ahead.
one thing I wanted to cover really fast, and just see if there was comments out there. I I understand what the state is trying to do, but if some of you saw today's news about the newly formed Department of Law Enforcement. Now, they took over several branches. They combined several of the law enforcement components in the state. Sheriff's Department, um, I think Attorney General's office, stuff like that. But I I heard the head of that department is focusing on getting more sheriffs for the airports, and he talked about 40 sheriffs for the outer island airports. I that number just doesn't resonate with me. Why 40? You're gonna need more than that because there's a heck of a lot more just for one airport alone. So I don't know if they're talking about just having a presence and they respond instead of KPD for Kauai, the Big Island, the same thing. If they're gonna be the responding arm, um, I just couldn't understand that. So going before the legislature, especially the Ways and Means, and asking for money. They're asking for all of this money, and then tonight I see about the prison system. They're asking for a whole bunch of money, and then a lot of our monies are, is already spoken for. Where are they going to get all these funding? Mel, you have any idea where they're going to get all this funding?
Absolutely not. No, I don't know. Yeah, I talked to Senator Kochi as well and asked him to join us, and we're going to be working on his schedule because right now they're
Yeah,
in a real
legislative session. Yeah.
busy time. But I want to hear from him. I want to hear from Psyche. I want to hear from all of these guys on how they plan uh, to pay for this government. I will say one of the things on the table this year, and I know this is probably not going to make everybody happy. But I'm glad you brought this up, Charlie, because I mean we had a lot of fun tonight. But let me just, I feel like I have to talk about the attempt that this um, legislature to legalize recreational marijuana, I think is a mistake. I think it's a bad direction to go. And I know a lot of you on here disagree, and that's fine. I love all of you guys, whether we agree or disagree. But I think I have really spent a lot of time researching this with jurisdictions that have legalized recreational marijuana. We already have medical marijuana, which I fully support, but recreational means you just light them up on the street, light them up wherever. And I believe the social impacts is going to be counterproductive. Right now in our state, it's no secret that our mental health services are insufficient. Um, we just dealt with a gentleman today at our council office that was mentally unstable, which is one of the reasons why I was home late tonight. And we don't have adequate services for these people, for our veterans that are struggling with mental health issues. Why in the world would we try to bring in more burdens on our mental health system by legalizing recreational marijuana? We've already decriminalized it. They're not going after marijuana smokers, but they're looking at the money, Charlie. And that is what's. I spoke to a lot of representatives at the opening on Wednesday that last year were against it, that this year they're supporting it because of the funding. Because of the funding. And that is a horrible excuse to legalize marijuana. And but I
Well,
think that's what the state is going to be looking at, different ways to generate more revenue. We don't have a revenue problem, we have a spending problem, in my opinion. That's just my opinion.
you look at, okay. So we brought this up before. We've heard of states that allowed lottery because they participate as one of the states in the lottery system, right? And they get to keep so much of the profits that have proven to generate that cash flow that they're talking about, right?
Hmm.
Yet you talk to our elected officials about a lottery. They don't even want to entertain that. So now my question is this: if we legalize and say, I mean, you and I both were police officers before. We've had situations where we arrested individuals who, would say that, hey, they don't like to tell us what started the, yet they were smoking marijuana. And so my question is, who's the boots on the ground to intervene should things get out of hand? They're always going to rely on police or someone in a law enforcement field. So it's like saying, okay, you have a forest fire. You don't go play with gasoline close to that fire. You're only going to make things worse, right? And that's all I'm saying. I mean, have compassion for the boots on the ground
Yeah. And that's what
because
I
it's bad enough. We cannot feel our, each department is understaffed. I mean, what are we going to do? And,
well,
yeah,
no, no, I
it's
was
one
just
of
gonna
those
say, I
things.
mean, if the I mean, it's a whole nother show, really. But it's the fact is we have more staff than we've ever had. We've got so many people teleworking that are not producing the work product that they would have if they were in the office. I mean, we have so many problems with management. We have so many problems with actually more people than we need just not being managed properly. I think there's so many
Hmm.
issues that need to be fixed, and government by nature thinks that as long as you keep throwing money at it and telling people that we're working on it, they're gonna believe. And I think the people are finally saying enough is enough. I'm troubled by some of the decisions these guys are making that's going to impact our communities and our generations to come, and that's I think where I'm really really concerned. I did see some questions come up, and I know give me a few minutes, because I know
Okay.
this is a Q&A, and I promise you we'll do a Q&A next week, and we'll address some of these questions. Sorry about football. What about Coco Palms property? We should talk about that in a good way. What is what it was and what it cannot be in things. Kilamia, Wifa at House Lots Entrance, so many other things. Keep things like we need to bring up. Yes, I mean, Coco Palms is a situation that's going through a process that I can honestly tell you I am monitoring very closely. Um, is it true that police training to become an officer now is only 2 weeks versus how it was
No,
before? No, that is not true.
that is not
Tax the
true.
tourists more. My plan is to increase the property tax rate on resorts and throw the TVRs in there as well, so we can. I believe they should be paying more. Have you heard of carryover funds? Does that play into it? Carryover funds is just simply funds that are not spent in this year's budget that roll right back into the general fund for next year. So, Kiala Wolf against legalization. Sorry, don't apologize. I tell you right now, folks. If you talk to legislators in jurisdictions that supported the legalization of recreational marijuana 5 or 6 years ago, and you ask them today, they wish they'd voted differently. And I know this myself. I keep telling these people, don't talk to politicians. Talk to the people on the ground. Talk to the social workers. Talk to the law enforcement officers. Talk to the hospitals. That's how you get a better picture of what's really going on. Uh, I'm pretty worried about all the users driving. I smell it everywhere. Chris, I will tell you that in the states that have legalization of recreational marijuana, the amount of traffic accidents and fatalities of impaired drivers with marijuana has increased significantly. That's just a fact. Um, Okay, no capacity on Oahu in our healthcare system. Absolutely none here either. We have no place to take them, and you're just going to compound that by making more drugs more accessible to people. It's just stupid. Um, Nelson, you're right. It's all about the money. Susan, that'll be dangerous for our children. Totally agree. You're so right about having a spending problem. Absolutely, they do. Um, Mahalo for a good night. Blondie was my brother who passed a couple days ago. Second brother in 2 months. Brother, I am so sorry. To the Woodwards, our condolences. I'm so sorry about that, man. Golly. All right, I think we pretty much got away. There's a bunch more, but you know what? We're gonna, yeah, the marijuana smell is all over Waikiki. I will say this, and this will be the end before we close out. I went to a conference on Oahu last year, and they had the Japan Minister of Tourism as well as the South Korea Director of Tourism, and they said, in Japan and in Korea, they don't see marijuana as a minor drug. They see marijuana just as they look at heroin and meth and fentanyl. It's a drug. So they warned the people at that conference that if you guys are go and insist on making Hawaii a recreational marijuana state, that they can guarantee that the Japanese tourist market will be reduced. That didn't come from me. That came from the director of tourism out there in Japan and South Korea. So, again, this is one of the things. Once you pull a trigger, you cannot take them back. Once you legalize marijuana, you're not going to be able to make it illegal. So, I'm shocked. Even our governor, who's a medical doctor, is supporting it. I don't get it. You know, I don't get it. So it is what it is. We'll see how that goes. But I can promise you, I told the representatives and the senators that I did meet with, I said I am going to put up the biggest fight ever in my life to try to stop that, and we'll see. I'm gonna need the villagers' support, and those that disagree. I love you guys. I still love you guys. Charles,
Well, before I say anything, I'd just like to say thank you to everyone that joined us tonight. Again, thank you for taking us down memory lane. I'm glad that I was able to contribute a little back in my day for of having fun in Waikiki. I will say this: since working at the airport, it's easy for someone like myself in a management position to sit in an office and let all the worker bees deal with all the mess. But I'm not one of those kind of individuals. I believe that before we do anything, take into consideration the boots on the ground that has to deal with the mess. Okay? I understand they want money, and please forgive me for what I'm about to say. You want to tax the tourists? Fine. Do whatever you want to do. But let's take us back to pre-COVID when tourists on Kauai was closed off, pretty much was closed off. We saw how much it affected our island. Yes, I agree, it needs to be controlled, but we need to find a way to live harmoniously with each other. Because I'm sure for those of us who love to go to Vegas, if one day they would say, "Hey, you from Hawaii? No, come here. How would you like that? That so to me, I think we gotta find a way to live and work together. That's one thing. But mostly, I believe take into consideration the boots on the ground and how they're gonna have to deal with a lot of this mess. Okay, if we're not properly equipping them with on ways to handle whatever outfall is going to take place from this legalization of marijuana, then who's going to deal with it? It's going to come down to that because we get the problems that we have. We have a lot of retirees from police departments across our state, but they're not filling the gap to replace those people that are retiring, those officers. So that means that many districts will be running with less officers. I believe Hawaii is a safe state. Let's keep it a safe state. We don't need to be having problems in our backyard fester to the point that many just say, you know what, we've had it, we're moving out, and they leave us. So that's all I wanted to say. And thank you very much for having me on again, brother Mel. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you, man. And I always appreciate the mana'o from you and the history and all of that. But again, we set this up as a Q and A, and we end up just having a good time. I rather have a good time, but
Yeah,
next week
yeah.
we'll do a Q and A, and I promise I'll take all you guys' questions. But yeah, we got serious issues here, and we gotta work towards resolving those issues in the best interest of our
Hmm.
residents, our local residents. And
Yeah.
you know, I shared this with our finance director, our managing director, that people say, "Man, you got to be careful. You cannot tax the tourists too much, and blah 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 blah. Hotels and stuff." And I said, I don't hear nobody advocating for the resident. Their taxes are going up, their assessments are going up, so the tax bills are going up. I don't hear anybody advocating for them. But every time you like raise the tourist thing, the tourist tax, or you like increase the tourist tax or whatever, um, everybody
Hmm.
jumps up and down about you got to be careful. And I'm not talking about you, Charles. I'm talking about leadership, people in leadership roles. You guys better be careful. No, you see, because in a hotel, in a rental car, at a restaurant that caters to the tourists, you can pass on the additional expenses to your customer. In the household, you have absolutely nowhere to pass on the additional expense of property tax. You just don't. You cannot raise your fees because you don't have any. You're paying bills. You're not collecting revenue. So I'm over that old thinking that you got to be careful. No, I mean, the hotels have enjoyed a very good run, and when I try to rent a room and Carmina rates are at 299 and 349, but then during the pandemic they're begging local people to come in and rent it for 89 and $99 because they couldn't fill the rooms. But as soon as they get the tourists coming back in, they forget about the local people, and so uh, I think that we got to really take make sure that we're taking care of our local residents first, because this is not
Mm.
the world's Disneyland. I'm sorry, it's not. This is not an amusement park for the rich. This is a family home, or a home for our families, and I think people got to really understand that. So I didn't mean to end on a somber or sour note, but I just had to say it. So you guys, appreciate you
Hmm.
guys. Charlie, again, thank you, man. And we love each and every one of you guys. The
No.
village is strong, and we will be back next week and continue the discussion. All right, guys. Until then, you guys stay safe. God bless. We love you guys. Aloha.
Aloha.